The movie begins with a female student named Hinana, who studies hard and is not interested in anything around her except her studies, because she wants to graduate from school with good marks and enter the university, while the rest of the students were busy watching a famous singer named Kaede Ayase, and they were very impressed with him, except for Hinana, who was not interested in the matter and remained preoccupied with her jobs. Her friend came to her and interrupted her studies to ask her why she was not interested in singer Kaede. She claimed not to know him. At that time, their friend Akan intervenes and says that Hinana does not care about celebrities who look like princes, so she supports his words. Her friend approaches her and whispers in her ear telling her that she is very hardworking, but she is wasting her life. Hinana talks about her organized day, as she wakes up early, waters the plants, does exercises, and then prepares breakfast herself and helps her little sister change her clothes and take care of her. One day she was reading the story of Cinderella to her, so she wished to marry a handsome young man like the prince in the story, and at the same time she saw a handsome actor on TV and fell in love with him because he looked like that prince. On the day off, she asks her mother for permission to go to the cinema, but she arrives early, so she goes to the video game hall and plays a game of picking up dolls in order for her to try to get a small bear to present to her sister, but she was unable to do so despite his many attempts. A person comes and stands behind her and explains to her the correct way, and indeed they manage to get the doll. She turns to thank him, but she is surprised when she sees that he is a handsome actor Kaede, and she is so amazed that she pronounces his name out loud. So Kaede decides to hold her hand and they run away with each other. When they reached a safe place, he expressed his admiration for her, and she apologized to him because it was movie time. And after she discovered that the heel of her shoe was broken, she ran to go back to the movie theater and was amazed at what happened with her, as she was very happy and kept remembering those moments when Kaede held her hand. She is surprised to see Kaede at the cinema, and he is sitting next to her. He asked her if she liked romantic movies, and she replied that she did not like them very much. But at the end of the movie she cried about the events of the story, and she apologized to Kaede for lying to him and saying that she did not like romantic movies. Then she told him that she had not lived a love story before and that she dreamed so. He asks her to take off her shoes, so he gives her his shoes and says goodbye. On the day Kaede comes to school, he brings shoes for Hinana. After he brought the shoes, he puts the shoes on her feet in front of everyone. She is fascinated by this and feels like Cinderella in the fairy tale. She runs after him to give him his shoes, so he writes his phone number on her hand and tells her to tell him her name, so she keeps his phone number. In the evening, she tried to call him, but his phone was out of coverage, and she thought he had given her the wrong number. After several days he sees her by chance, and he asks her why she didn't call him. She tells him that the phone number is wrong. He is surprised that he gave her his old phone number. He tried to write her his new phone number, but she takes her phone from him and asks him to stop chasing her. So she leaves him and goes, but he follows her and kisses her, so she rejoices a lot, despite her surprise. He asks her again for her name and asks her to meet on a date. After a while they meet and he takes her to his apartment, and when she enters, she is dazzled by the beauty of his apartment and the luxury of its style, and they spend a beautiful time away from people. But suddenly his business manager comes and sees them together. When she leaves, his manager warns him that what he's doing is wrong, since Hinana is young and still in high school, but he ignores him. She is overjoyed at being close to Kaede, but he suddenly sends her a message telling her that he won't be able to see her for a long time because he's shooting a movie. At that time her childhood friend admired and loved her, but he had never confessed to her before. One day he asked her to help him in a flower shop, so he confessed his love to her, but she thought he was joking. Meanwhile, an order comes to the shop, and Hinana's friend asks her to deliver the order. The order was sent to the shooting location. By chance, she watches Kaede in a romantic moment with his actor, but he comes and meets Hinana and tells her that his first kiss was with her, so the actor sees them and gets upset. On the day of the shoot, he calls her and tells her that he took a vacation and wants to see her, but she tells him that today is her friend's birthday and that they plan to meet at her house. At that moment, her two friends are outside, and Hinana's friend was telling her friend that he would confess his love to Hinana, but when he entered, he was surprised by Kaede's presence with Hinana and wanted to share their birthday. During dinner, Kaede and Hinana's friend are left alone, so they exchange conversations, and Kaede finds out that Hinana's friend likes her, so he gets very upset. He tells her that he does not want to meet him again, and she feels happy because he is jealous of her. Then they meet alone again and get closer to each other. and he tells her about his new role in the movie, and that he should practice the piano. He discovers that Hinana loves the piano, but she stopped learning because learning to play the piano is expensive and she does not want to increase the expenses for her family. He respects her a lot and gives her the key to his apartment and tells her to come whenever she wants. The next day, she hears the girls talking that Kaede's new movie will feature his old girlfriend and that they will get back together. So Hinana gets upset and tells her friend that, so she tells her that they separated 2 years ago. The next day she goes to his apartment to give him food, but she is surprised by the presence of his old girlfriend and she is very close to him. She gets upset a lot. He tries to tell her that she misunderstood the situation, so she asks him to go and leave him, so he tries to calm her down, but she pulls his hand away from her and tells him that the life of each of them is different from the other, so she leaves him. Then he returns home and asks his ex-girlfriend to go, but she refuses on the pretext that she still loves him. Hinana was very sad and did not come out of her room, until her mother spoke to Hinana's friend and asked him to come visit her. He enters her room and asks her to tell him about what happened, but she does not tell him, so he advises her to leave Kaede, and he confesses his strong love for her, so she is shocked by that. Days pass and she is still sad until Kaede's ex-girlfriend came to school and asked her to stay away from Kaede because she loves him and is still dating him. But she tells her that she will never stop loving Kaede, and that he is the only one who can make her happy. Then she goes to her friend and confesses to him that she loves Kaede, so he accepts and promises that they will remain friends. In the evening Kaede comes, she goes to see him, and he apologizes to her and says he loves her. She accepts his apology and tells him that she loves him too. They go to the amusement park, and he gives her a necklace with Cinderella's shoes on it. Days pass and she is happy in her life and in harmony with her lover, until her birthday comes. As the business manager calls Kaede and tells him that people have known about his relationship with Hinana, he tries to contact her, but she does not answer. When she sees their picture all over the news, she tries to contact him but he was busy with reporters. This relationship caused a problem for Kaede because he is popular and everyone is saying that Kaede is taking advantage of Hinana. His manager advises him to deny the relationship, but he refuses and tells him that he can only feel happy with her. Hinana meets his manager, and he tells her that Kaede had to give up singing after he had a problem with his throat and had to have surgery after his friends abandoned him and turned to acting. She is sad and afraid that he will lose his dream of acting because of her, so she goes to meet him and apologizes to him. And she tells him that she lived a fictional love story with him, but she must end it and go. The next day, Kaede appears at a press conference and says that he was the one who loved Hinana and that it was a one-sided relationship, and he decided not to see her again to focus on his work more. 3 years pass, and Hinana watches the news that Kaede won the Best Movie Actor award, so their friend who wanted to bring them together comes and books a movie ticket on her birthday for Kaede and one for Hinana. They meet and give her the gift that he could not give her 3 years ago on her birthday. Then they talk and decide to get back together and continue their lives together. If you want interesting movie recaps like these, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.